Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Kawneer 200762. This is a adjustable Astragal used in their standard doors. This is a 9-foot piece, and I usually don't make videos of things so long because it's just hard to really demonstrate it. But let's do the best we can because this is the only length this is available in. So an end view that you can see there, you've got this rolled over processed metal that has these captive springs in it, and that's where the adjustable portion comes in, or the adjustable feature or functionality comes in, because when you insert the screw, you can see that there's a screw hole right there. The more you tighten that screw, the more these springs will flatten. And the less you tighten it, it will serve to allow this Astragal to be able to work in that sort of fashion where you can adjust the projection. Now, why would you need that? Well, a couple of reasons that you would want adjustability, and it's a feature of weather stripping that you'll see in wood doors as well, where there's basically a T-slot aluminum extrusion that a pile slides into. But before all of that, you slide the pile out. Okay, you've got the T-slot aluminum extrusion with some small holes drilled and countersunk inside of the slot, like maybe for a number 4 screw, something small. Well, underneath that T-slot is going to sit a spring, and then the screw goes through all of that. Same concept. The more you tighten that screw in, draw that screw in, pull it out, that weather stripping will adjust. That's used for wood doors. This is the aluminum version of that. So why would you need adjustability? You'd want that because the pile is going to fatigue. It's going to flatten out. It's going to not be as proud, standing as proud in 5 years as it is today. That's the bottom line. So you'll be able to draw that weather stripping out a little bit further before an outright replacement is necessary. The other reason is doors. Let's assume that they're installed true, plumb, level, and square, true, plumb, and level. Well, what happens in pairs of doors, which is where you'll use an Astragal, those doors tend to kind of come towards the center a little bit. The margin up at the top gets a little bit wider, and it's because the hinge fatigues. That's holding the door. 70% of the weight of the door is held by that top hinge. Or maybe the frame splays out a little bit at the bottom over years of use, to where you really just want to tweak that weather stripping a little bit. Okay, draw it in a little bit at the top where the margin's tight, bring it out a little bit at the bottom so that you can kind of maintain a plumb nature to the gasketing itself. These piles that are going to be making contact with each other in a pair of doors, even though the doors are no longer true, plumb, level, and square. That's why you're going to want to adjust them. It's a maintenance issue. Day one, you're going to set it and forget it. Well, day 1,500, you're going to want some adjustability on that. Let's switch to the screen view, and we'll take a look at some additional information. And then after that, we'll come back and I'll throw my caliper on this, and we'll take a look at some of the dimensions. So let's switch to the screen view now. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, let's take a look at this Astragal. You'll note that it's in the 108 inch. That's the only size they offer this in. We offer it in other lengths as well, and the reason we do that is for the following: 108, 84, and 96. So what we'll do is we order the 108 inch just for stock. You'll note that, and by the time you're seeing this video, this price probably won't be the same, but the relationship between the 108 inch and the 84 and the 96 will probably be the same, where the shorter lengths are more money, and that is the cost of us cutting it for you. So why would you want us to do that? If your doors are 7 foot, the difference, which is currently about $30, will cover us cutting it for you. The advantage for you is the freight on this is going to be far more than the material cost. whereas the freight on the 7-foot length will be noticeably less than the material cost. So you'll spend more money, but you'll save it in the long run. If you have 7-foot doors, you'll want to order them that way. 8-foot doors isn't going to help you in terms of the cost of freight, but nonetheless, we will cut them for you. And what we do is we'll want you to tell us if we're going to cut it top of the door to the center of the first screw hole. We're assuming that they're putting those fasteners, those dimples in the channel at consistent and dependable, predictable, reliable center to centers. So if we know that first dimension, we'll assume the rest of the dimensions from the factory fall in line. And that's what we're seeing here when we have that. So in the extended description, exit device service part, it's just a door part. Standard adjustable astragal for standard doors. You are going to get, the springs are already attached. Screws will come with it as well. Now there's a link here to the service parts catalog, but let's go to the manufacturer's page here within our site. And you can pull up all of the service parts catalogs that are here. We have them, the most current, all the way going back almost 20 years at this point. So our part number, if you recall, was 20762. Let's open up the most current service parts catalog, and then we'll do a find function on our keyboard for 20762, and there it is. Standard adjustable astragal for standard doors. Then there's another one. There's a high pile adjustable astragal for standard doors. I don't know the application of where you would end up using that, except that you might want a longer pile for whatever reason. There's obviously a reason from the factory that they created the high pile, but I can't tell you what door series or door application is going to require that greater pile. It's probably closer to 5/8 would be my guess. An astragal for stock height 350, 500 tough line entrances, okay. I don't know what this insert is made of. It's probably vinyl would be my guess. Maybe silicone or neoprene. Then there's other weather stripping that you'll find in here as well. Pile gasketing, they've got door sweeps that are here. The point of showing you where to find this is the document that we go to. This is the document that Kawneer goes to when you contact them for tech support. So the point is that's everything we know about the material. Other encyclopedic documents are on here, old catalogs, etc. You can review all the Kawneer items that we sell by the horizontal navigation as seen here, a link to the manufacturer's website, architectural hardware catalog. Let's switch now and take a look at some photographs that we have of this item. Okay, and here are some photographs. Kind of see a blurry cross section there, showing a side view of it. The underside showing the springs, close-up view of the springs, or one set of them around the screw hole. The screw hole itself, then the fasteners that are included with the material. Rather unusual screw, but that's what it is. Now, let's switch back to the camera view and wrap up this video, but we'll take some dimensions as well. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. And some basic dimensional properties of this item. The overall, from the bottom of the metal, which it's probably aluminum, is my guess. I'm going to put the caliper on that, and it's about 0.485, so almost a half of an inch. This overall dimension. Okay, well that doesn't really necessarily help that much. But let's take the 0.485 and let's subtract from it what a reasonable dimension is for the height of the pile. About 0.245. So 0.485 minus 0.245. 0.24 something. Yeah, right in that range. Something in that range. An overall width of the material, 0.483. So about as wide as it is in overall projection. So now you've got some dimensions to work with. So is this the one for your door? Does the door say Kawneer? Okay, well if it does, it's, yeah, very likely. Is what you're replacing extremely similar to this in its size and its visual? Yeah, it's probably it. The pile's not available as a replacement on this, so you'll replace the metal material as well when you're doing it. I am partial to Kawneer when it comes to working with in the aluminum storefront industry. I'm partial to Kawneer because of all of the manufacturers who do that. My experience with Kawneer is one that they are extremely engaged with the architectural hardware industry. Aluminum doors and frames are a bit to the side of the traditional door and frame distributor. In terms of a historical perspective, well, there's been, you know, quite a homogenization of companies who are providing things. Some things have gone out of, you know, some things aren't necessarily going to be supplied by the traditional distributor, like perhaps access control. However, 40 years ago, the typical door and frame distributor may not have been looking at fiberglass or aluminum storefront. Well, now they are, for sure. And I believe Kawneer has understood that you've got lots of different types of people that are using their product. Whether you are an architect or a designer or an engineer or a specifier or a traditional door and frame distributor, or you are a handyman, or you are a someone who would be called a glass house, someone who does a lot of glass, which means aluminum storefront. You got a lot of different people playing. Locksmiths, obviously. They're going to get called out to work on this material quite often. So them being very helpful at getting the information out is, in my opinion, what sets them apart. So, if you have any questions on the Kawneer 200762 adjustable Astragal for standard doors or any other Kawneer product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.